Welcome to Behind the Net, a new video series featuring the Montana volleyball team. Today we're lucky enough to be joined by head coach Allison Lawrence. Coach, I don't know how you do it. You've got 2 practices a day, you've got meetings, meals with the team, and yet you're standing here with us. So thank you for joining us, first of all.
My pleasure.
And then second of all, I just want to ask you a little bit about your summer. What was the highlights? What did you get to do? Tell us a little bit about your summer.
Yeah, summer I think is always a whirlwind, but my kids, my actual children, not our athletes, are 8 and 5, and so we floated the river a lot for the first year together. Just our 5-year-old was kind of ready for it this year and could actually enjoy it and not kind of whine the whole time. So we had some fun outdoor adventures that you can kind of only get in a wonderful place like Missoula, Montana. So love just being outside with my kids and kind of being silly and having some fun downtime before season.
Absolutely, a great place to take advantage of all that. Now transitioning to the volleyball court, you guys are on day 3 of 2-day practices. One thing that I don't know that a lot of fans quite understand is how little time you guys have to ramp up for the season. You're on day 3, but really just over 2 weeks until the season starts and your first competition. And so how has the urgency level changed with fall camp, and what are you guys trying to work on to get up to speed?
In volleyball in general, we don't have access to our athletes in the summer, so they can work out with our strength coach, but we can't observe anything and we can't work out with them in the gym, even on a voluntary basis if they just ask for extra reps. So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge to get a team ready any year, but on a team in a year where we have new players, we're really trying to manage fatigue, because you can practice as much as you want in a day, but there's only so many hours that make a productive day of practice, if that makes sense. So we really try to balance fatigue and sort of mental, emotional, physical fatigue with the need to just push through and be physically prepared. And so it looks a little bit different each year with each team. We've got a great team with Dr. Shane Murphy and tracking all the vert tracking we do and measuring how much they jump and what their landings are like, and there's a ton of info that we get at the end of the day just to gauge where we're at physically, and then we're building trust. I think that's the other piece, that it helps that we spend so much time together. I think that's part of building relationships and trust, but we also have to be really intentional about that time, meet a lot, discuss a lot of topics that are really going into our culture on and off the court. And so yeah, it's kind of full immersion. It's full immersion for 2 straight weeks, and then you kind of run at your first match and use preseason to work out everything else. So we're excited, but it's a lot.
Absolutely. And speaking of exciting, I've been in the gym to be able to watch you guys practice and compete. And so what are some of the things that have stood out in an exciting way that make you really look forward to the 2021 volleyball season?
Yeah, I think, we have some seniors this year, some of which have transferred in, but I think the core of our returners, that have been in the program for a bit, have really built a culture that's attracting, highly competitive, but also just really giving teammates. And so it's fun to see the group, after 4 years, kind of own it and teach it themselves. And when you're turning around a program, that's kind of one of the phases of when this culture that you've been talking about and building, you kind of hand it off to the players, and it sort of replicates itself year by year. And I think this year I'm seeing that, more than any other year, and it's fun to see them doing it and them kind of carrying that. And so that's been great, and our newcomers are just filling in and elevating the gym. And I think one interesting thing about recruiting across the country for this particular class is that there were some players we had not seen live. So I saw certain players for the first time in person play, on Monday. And so that's also a new thing, but it was so exciting just to say, yeah, what we saw in video, it showed up, and it's even better.
So thank you very much for joining us. Stay tuned to all things Griz Volleyball on social media, gogriz.com. We'll be bringing you more video updates, feature stories, photo gallery stories, and more all throughout preseason and the season. Go Griz.